You don't have very high expectations for what it means to be a god.
I can fly while I'm awake?
She jumped up into the air, turning somersaults just above Than's head.
I can fly!
Woo-hoo! Images from Peter Pan rushed to her, and though she laughed at herself, she didn't stop twirling in the air. Than shook his head. Come back down here, you crazy girl. She continued to turn and glide across the sky, daring to go higher, above the trees.
Whoa!
She cried when she wobbled and dropped a few feet. Then, confident again, she soared up to the clouds.
Whee!
Slowly she descended, feet first, back to the ground. But before she landed, another idea struck her. She took off running up the mountain and was halfway there in seconds.
Look how fast I can run!
Spotting a boulder wedged in the mountainside, she stopped, tugged at it, easily loosening it from the surrounding earth, and lifted it above her head.
Look how strong I am!
Her voice echoed throughout the valley. So I can finally kiss you without killing you, and you'd rather fly and lift heavy rocks? She giggled and flew to the altar and lay beside him, propping her head on an elbow. Sorry, I'm all yours. Then, as Than's face moved near hers, she frowned. What's wrong?
Can we take a shower somewhere? We're both covered in ash.
She shuddered again. Yuck. Her own dead body. She'd like to get clean of it as soon as possible. Than snapped his fingers, and a black cloud appeared above them. The cloud opened and dropped cool, refreshing rain. Therese lifted her face to it and allowed it to cascade down her cheeks, neck, shoulders.
Can I do that too? Make it rain?
He swept her wet hair out of her eyes. Do you really want an education on what it means to be a god? Right now? With each word, he moved his lips nearer to hers.
No.
She looked at his mouth. No, not really. He reached his lips towards her, but she stopped him once again. Now what?
You burned too. I saw you pour the kerosene all over yourself. Why?
He cupped her chin. I didn't want you to go through that alone.
Wow, that's so...
He covered her lips with his as the exhilarating rain softly washed away their ashes and reinvigorated her. She slipped her arms around his neck and pressed her body against his. He pushed her hip down onto the altar and lay half on top of her, crushing her, but she didn't mind, wanting to be as close to him as possible, making every part of her touch every part of him. She curled a leg over his and reveled at the sound of a moan escaping from his lips.
Oh, Than, I can't believe it. We're finally together.
He snapped his fingers, and the rain stopped, and the morning sunshine warmed and dried them as they kissed, caressed, and stroked one another on Demeter's altar. Memories of Than anointing her body, every inch of it, with ambrosia, his hand stroking her, quickly but lovingly, filled her with desire. Maybe we should go somewhere more private, Than whispered. Therese nodded but asked, nearly breathless,
What happened to your mom and grandma?
Than stopped and sat up. That's a good question. Therese sat up too.
Are you worried?
They gave me the vial of ambrosia. They could be in trouble.
We need to find out.
I've just disintegrated and dispatched to Mount Olympus to look for them.
How do you do that?
Comes with the job.
Can I do it?
I don't think so, but ultimately it'll depend on your purpose. Just then Therese heard her aunt's voice calling to her, as though she were right there with them.
Oh my God!
What's wrong?
Nothing.
She tried to ignore it. What purpose? He leaned back once again on his elbows. Every god and goddess must serve humankind or the world in some way. We have to find a purpose for you, or this transformation won't last. Therese hopped from the altar to her feet.
You never mentioned that.